Hey guys, I know it's been a couple weeks since I've done a video. Also, I'm just going to acknowledge this now, it's kind of echoing here. Well, I haven't done a video in a couple weeks just because life happens and things were just kind of crazy, so I had to just take a break, and sometimes you just need a break, man. Anyways, we're here, we're back for Guitar Lingo Part 2. Now, if you haven't checked out Part 1 yet, I will put a link in the description. This is a series where I go through and explain words guitarists use that, unless you have played guitar for a while, you really probably won't know. This is just a helpful thing if you're learning to play guitar or if you hang out with guitarists. This is something that would have helped me a ton. So instead of whining how I didn't have it, I'm going to do my best to help you guys. So anyways, in this part, the first part of this series, I went through different parts of the guitar, dealing with the neck and the body and the bridge. This is a super simple thing, so don't be complaining, oh my gosh, I knew all of these, what's wrong with you? This is super beginner type stuff. So in part 2 of the series, I'm going to go through different guitar sounds. This pretty much only applies to electric. While you can put these pedal sounds and stuff on an acoustic, it usually tends to apply to electric tone. So here we go. Here's the first one we're going to go to is clean channel. Now, clean channel is just your guitar going straight into the speakers, basically. Nothing else, just... So just super simple, no effects on it or anything. Effects are what make it sound weird and different, and that's kind of what I'm going to be going through, like I said earlier, but just clearing everything up. So clean channel is what everything is based off of. It's pretty much our most important thing. If you don't have a good clean channel, everything else, or a good clean sound, some people say volume, some say channel, others say just sound. Anyways, if you don't have a good clean tone, or tone, that's another one, it's just going to sound really kind of not really good. The best way to get a good clean tone is to go to a tube amp, but I'm using a solid state right now, and as you can tell, it's not half bad. You can do pretty good with a solid state. But playing with just a clean tone can sound really kind of bland. I mean, I guess you could use it in some places. But adding on effects is what makes electric guitar so cool, is that you could make it sound like just about anything if you find the right pedal. Luckily, my amp, it's a Fender Mustang 4. It has effects in it, so it's kind of good, kind of bad, because it has all the effects it needs. But if you want to start building up a pedal board, it really doesn't like to work with pedals. It can, but it's kind of difficult to work with. So anyways, the next tone we're going to go to is one of the most popular sounds ever, and that would be overdrive. Now this can also be called distortion or gain, or there are just tons and tons of different names for this, but overdrive is kind of one of your more common names. Gain, overdrive, and distortion are pretty much what you need to know. And this started when people would use tube amps and they would crank the volume way up, and it would kind of start to what we call break up, which is where you go from a super clean tone to kind of almost sounds like something's wrong. But they liked that, and so they kept pushing them and pushing them, and so they started to come out with pedals that did it. So your clean channel sounds like this, which already kind of sounds a little bit broken up. But if you add some overdrive, it sounds a little bit more like rock music almost. It gives you kind of that just very popular rock sound. So overdrive and gain, distortion is just kind of one of your very classic, very popular sounds that you're going to find on almost any pedal board. Pretty much if a brand makes pedals, it's going to make an overdrive one of some sort. So next we're going to move on to delay. Now delay is just a repeat of your sounds. If you hit it, it keeps going, kind of like this. I can turn it up a little bit more so that you can hear it more. So as you can see, you can get different time rates and stuff to deal with how you're playing, and It's a really cool thing. It adds a lot of feel to your playing. It makes it what we call fuller, which makes it feel more like you're in a big amphitheater type room and less like you're in your bedroom or something. Delay is really good if you play worship like me. It's one of the hugest sounds you can get. Delay and reverb are kind of your biggest two, and you can do all kinds of different delay. You can do just set like I was doing, where it's just a set delay no matter what you're playing. You can use like a tapping, like you can tap the button to the beat, and it can give you all kinds of cool stuff. So delay is a really cool thing to have. Next we're going to go to reverb. Now I mentioned this just a second ago talking about delay. And reverb, while it's not exactly like delay, they work together. They're two sounds that when you put them together can do so much. But instead of repeating your sound to make it sound fuller, this just essentially sustains it. It holds the note out longer. So without delay, I'm going to sound like this. And see, the note is already going away a lot. But when you put on some reverb, it tends to last a lot longer. And when you're playing a lot of notes, it tends to sound really cool. It gives you more of that amphitheater room. Mine actually, the amp I'm using, the Mustang, actually in its reverb setting says, either large room or stadium or small room or whatever, kind of dealing with how it sounds compared to everything else. Now, when you're playing worship, delay and reverb, like I said, go together really well. Because without anything, it sounds like that. It's going to sound like that without anything. Then you add reverb. And especially with that Fender, it kind of gives it that, what we call sparkle, which is kind of hard to explain, but it's just a certain tone that sounds really cool. Then you add in some delay. It can get really cool. The higher the level, the kind of weirder and spacious it's going to sound. Almost, spacious as in sounds like it's filling in a huge room. But it can be really cool when you add those two together. Now, the next effect I'm going to talk about, it isn't quite as popular as overdrive, delay, and reverb, but it is one of the more popular ones, and it's not used quite as much, and usually it's not as high of a level as I have it right now, but it can be really cool and add a whole nother realm of tone to your guitar tone, and that's chorus. Chorus was common a lot, like in the 80s. Van Halen used it all the time. Eddie Van Halen, that was one of his signature things, was using chorus, and it can sound really cool in a worship setting too. So here's my clean tone again. You guys probably know exactly what that sounds like now. And then add the chorus. Now that's at an extremely, extremely high level, higher than I would normally ever have it. But it's kind of almost like a phasery type thing. Almost has a 70s funk feel to it or something. But it's a really cool effect if you add just a little bit on, along with your delay and your reverb. It's going to sound awesome. Now there are tons and tons of different pedals that even I don't know about. There are probably thousands for all I know. But you can go check those out. Their entire YouTube channel is devoted to it. It's pretty easy. You can just look up, effects pedals basically, and they'll come up, or guitar effects pedals. So that's just about it for that. Remember, subscribe to my channel, Lamron Jeff, to see part 3. That should be coming to you guys next week, assuming more life stuff doesn't happen. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lamron Jeff. Links to those down in the description. Another little thing, I uploaded a video on Wednesday that was an improvisation guitar solo. Instead of putting one up on Instagram, I put it up on my YouTube channel. It's about a 3-minute video. And I just found a backing track and started playing, and it sounded awesome. So a link to that will also be in the description. And other than that, I will see you guys next week. Remember, if you haven't watched it yet, watch part 1. Also another link in the description. That's 4 or 5 links. That's a lot. Anyways, that's it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and may his will be done. Bye, guys.